Well, for decades, Canadians have been fighting for and fighting against the right to die. And it's a battle that began on Vancouver Island in the early 1980s in the landmark case of Sue Rodriguez. She lost that fight in the Supreme Court of Canada, but in 2011, another BC woman picked it up where Rodriguez left off and won. As CTV's Louise Hartland shows us, the BC Court of Appeal is now set to review that decision.
This is about justice and compassion.
Protesters gather on the steps of the legislature with a strong message.
Like Parliament, to debate the topic of doctor-assisted suicide.
In Vancouver, people for and against the right to die take a stand as a contentious challenge heads to the BC Court of Appeal. Last summer, Gloria Taylor won a landmark decision in BC Supreme Court. The 64-year-old Kelowna woman died while fighting for the right to end her own life on her own terms.
We hailed this decision as a watershed victory for human rights at the end of life.
After her death, the judge ruled the current laws infringed on Taylor's charter rights. Supporters say the decision was a major step forward in preventing end-of-life suffering. It is a decision the federal government is appealing, and the Euthanasia Prevention Coalition is applauding.
Rather than being steered away from suicide, your loved one in a difficult situation might be steered towards suicide. So we think that we're hoping that the government will be successful in defending the laws against assisted suicide and euthanasia so that the direct intentional killing of patients by doctors will never be part of the medical landscape in Canada.
Victoria lawyer Chris Considine is following the case with a vested interest.
The differences are really the additional information that's been accumulated over the last 20 years to show that, in fact, what Sue Rodriguez was advocating works.
He says he will never forget his client, Sue Rodriguez, and what she fought for.
If somebody's terminally ill, they should be able to have the options that they want at the end of their lives. After all, it is their life. It's nobody else's, it's their life.
Since the Rodriguez case, several states have legalized physician-assisted death when the patient falls under specific parameters. Considine says it is time for Canada to do the same.
It's not just a legal issue, it's also a human issue. It affects all of us. And therefore, I think the judges are moved by the issue and will give a great deal of thought to it.
For now, the resolution will have to wait. The appeal has been adjourned for 2 weeks after a key government lawyer fell ill. Louise Hartland, CTV News, Victoria.